Hey everyone, Rabbi Abe here, breakthrough coach and consciousness mentor. I can't tell you how often it's happened to me in my life that I did things that I shouldn't have done, or I didn't do stuff that I should have done because of one reason: guilt. And guilt robbed me of getting the most out of that situation. In fact, it left me with almost nothing. I'm going to go into the mechanism of how guilt functions for us and how to overcome it. And stick around to the end of the video where I'll give you a formula that's going to help you in any situation where guilt plays a role. Be blessed and enjoy the video. Do we honestly believe that we can get away with doing anything out of guilt? Well, I'm here to burst your bubble. The answer is absolutely not. We can't. I mean, we can try, and we all do, but there's always going to be consequences after. So, what is the mechanism of this process? What are the consequences, and what do we do about it? We need to answer some of those questions. I'm Rabbi Abe from rabbieabe.com. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, please like the video by giving it a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel. And feel free to comment in the comment section on YouTube or ask any questions that you may have. So here's the thing about guilt. Very simply, guilt is a mechanism that emanates from our soul. Yes, it does. How is that possible? There is a principle in the Kabbalah called bread of shame. Bread of shame. What is that? Well, actually, it's a deep idea, but simply put, the principle is that an individual feels shame at the bread he receives from someone else. In other words, he didn't earn that bread himself. It was just given to him. And when you receive enough bread from the outside, which you didn't create or earn, you have this feeling of discomfort or shame called bread of shame. Now, bread of shame is a code term, you should know, for anything that's received that wasn't created by us, okay? Now, again, that has many ramifications because half of our life is spent receiving things that we didn't necessarily create or earn, but again, I don't want to go into that whole discussion. Clearly, we all have guilt about different things in our life. It's generally when it's more obvious to us. So let's say we lie about something and it's very obvious and you shouldn't be lying about it, but you're lying about it and you're not used to lying, let's say. You feel uncomfortable about that. That's a form of guilt. Let's say your friend asks you for help on a Sunday to move some stuff. And you know what? You agree, but you don't really want to. You'd rather spend time hanging out with whoever. And you make an excuse up and you say, look, I can't help you. Something very important came up. Listen, part of you wanted to help, but you made an excuse you didn't. You probably don't feel amazing about that. Guilt. There's a name for that. Guilt. You said you're going to work out. You said you were going to go on a diet and you weren't going to eat chocolate cake. But the chocolate cake came up and, it's there and you already swore it off. And now you find yourself picking up the fork and digging into the cake. How do you feel about it? Wonderful? No, not so good. Guilt. So, do you need more examples? You Your mother tells you go visit your grandmother and you really don't want to because she likes to complain a lot. And, so you go because you have to go, but you really don't want to be there. And you sort of feel guilty because you really know you should, but you're not there. The question is, are you there or are you not there? So if you're feeling guilty about something, and you're doing something out of that feeling of guilt because you feel you have to, are you really doing it? What does it really mean to do it, actually, to really do it? So there's a principle in the Kabbalah which can help us answer this question. And it's really, in fact, a spiritual rule. The spiritual rule is this: there is no partial in spirituality. There's no partial in spirituality. What does that mean exactly? Spirituality doesn't mean something out there. Spirituality means that deals with beyond the physical world, which is the world of energy. Energy world. Energy is a spiritual thing. Why? Because it cannot be seen itself, but we certainly see the effect of energy. Electricity is a spiritual force. We don't see electricity. We certainly see the effect of electricity. The lights are on, shining on my face right now. That's the effect, but I don't see electricity, okay? So a spiritual force or energy is never partial. That's what this rule is saying. No partial in spirituality means no energy is partial. It's all or it's not. Now, that does not mean that it's always the same. In other words, you can have a lot or a little. You can have a shot glass full of energy or a very tall glass or a medium glass. They can all be full. So they are all equally full, but they're not the same. They're not equal in size or amount, volume. So you can love a lot. You can love a little. You can love in between. You can give a lot. You can give a little, but what you give needs to be complete. And that's what this rule is telling us. No partial in spirituality is giving us insight into the nature of how energy flows or doesn't. Because in terms of energy, again, there is no partial. You can't have energy is kind of a circuit. You can't have a partial circuit. No, that's called a short circuit. It's short of a circuit. It's not a circuit. It's not complete. It's not whole. It's not uniform. So when we do something with the consciousness of I don't really want to, what's inside of the action that you're doing? Because it needs to be clear to us that everything we do contains two parts, okay? There's the physical thing that we do, but the physical thing without the intention or the force behind it can be very empty. Imagine for a minute hearing the most beautiful three words, I think, in my opinion, that anybody can hear is, I love you, or maybe I need you, or whatever it is. Let's stick with I love you. But they don't mean it. Imagine they tell you that, and they really have a hidden agenda. Their love is not, is not really. They want something from you. And so they're trying to be on your good side. Imagine. Terrible. In fact, does everybody who tells you that they love you really mean it? Today, these three words are so overused. Yeah, I love you. You're signing off on a text, love you, I love you, moi. I mean, is that real love? Well, I'm not the one to tell you if it is or it isn't, but the point is, physical action does not always contain the energy of the action. That's the only point I wanted to make, okay? It can be empty of intention, empty of consciousness, empty of energy. That's very important. So when we do something out of guilt, what's happening there? That means we're doing it only physically. We'll call that the 1%. But where's the 99% of the energy behind it? The realness. Maybe it's not there at all. Again, or it is there or it isn't there. It is very black and white. It's not black and white in amount. Again, keep that in mind. Again, the same way you can love someone a lot. Oh, this much. Or you can love someone a little. You can have a little bit of caring, but your caring is complete. Or it's not. That's when the problems come in. Maybe you claim you love someone, you care about them, but you're not, it's not matching. Something's off over there. Maybe you went to visit your grandmother, but you're hating being there. So you know what's going to happen as a result? You might have a nice time even. It might surprise you. But you're going to leave over there, and she's going to feel something was off. Doesn't mean right away. Maybe later. Could be also during the visit. You might have an argument with her, but I don't know what. But something's going to be off now, later, next time, because it's almost like you made a promise by being there and coming with something and you didn't bring it. If you understand what I'm saying. And that's how we show up to life a lot of the time. You can go to work that way and you hate your job and, but you're there, You might feel guilty or might not feel guilty, but is it going to affect you? Absolutely. Because you're not really there. Imagine that. You can be working for years, but you're not there because your energy is not there. You're not present. The 99%. Your consciousness may not be, maybe someplace else. Maybe it's, out dancing. I don't know. Someplace else. So what are the ramifications of this? Well, there are consequences. We feel poorly. That's maybe the most obvious. But even if we don't, in a conscious way, overtly, it will affect us, okay? It lessens the ability for us to capture spiritual energy and fulfillment in our life. The way to reverse it is to reconcile our feelings. Be complete with what we do to the best of our ability. Don't do things falsely, okay? Don't do things for the wrong reasons. It won't work out in the long run. Resign yourself to feeling, okay, I feel this way, but be complete with what you feel and do things from that place. It will work out a lot better. Again, we don't have to love everybody on the planet, and we don't need to feel the same way even about our children. We can feel completely different. But what we feel should be complete, okay? Don't fool yourself into thinking, for my 12 kids, I need to feel all of them, feel the same way about all of them. I love them all. No, each kid is different. Face it. That's the truth. That doesn't mean you should love them less, but you will likely love them different. No reason for guilt about that, as long as you're being complete with where you are. And it's the same for everything. The object of the game is to feel the most complete that you can with what you do. And I promise you, if you make the effort to do that, if that's where you are in your consciousness, in your head, your life may shift even dramatically, but you are going to be a much happier person. And guess what? More good news. People will also begin to treat you differently, and you will feel more complete energy from all the people in your life. Check it out. You let me know. Be blessed. All the best, and I will see you very soon on the next video.